Thank you, Annie. It's really a privilege to participate in this webinar under your leadership and guidance. And I'm also very happy to see the face on the screen of some of the friends with whom I have worked very closely in the field of school education. I think, as Mr. Marisla pointed out, it's more than 10 years after the RT Act was enacted. And when it was enacted, it seemed to be the fulfillment of a dream cherished by millions of the citizens of the country. And aspired by another millions of children going to school for decades, if not centuries. What set the RT Act apart from all other previous effort to provide school education was actually were two aspects of it. This I would call a paradigm shift in the whole approach and philosophy of school education in the country. One of them was that if you want to, first the goal of universalization for a very important sector of school education was accepted constitutionally and legally for the first time in the history of India. It had never been done before. It was accepted as a fundamental right by the amendment of the Constitution and the provision of Article 21A. And then the RT Act made it, converted it into a law, which can be justiciable by our law courts, and which can enable parents and children to go to knock at the door of the courts to claim their right for free and compulsory education. So converting it to a legal right. Now these two things are such that has never happened in the history of the country. This happened for the first time. And people don't realize the significance of it. It has not been conveyed effectively in a proper manner to the vast majority of the people of the country. Because to have this kind of approach is the only way of universalizing school education. The other thing that was implicit in the act was that the country decided to act on all the variables of providing compulsory education simultaneously. And not that you take up some and ignore others, and then you drop the one which you are working and start on some again, which has been the pattern throughout our effort to provide school education to our children. So for the first time, country adopted the approach of acting simultaneously in all the variables, building all the schools that have to be built, recruiting all the teachers that have to be recruited, training the recruited teachers, ensuring other aspects of quality, bringing out of school children to school, and the whole host. I mean, you have to take the RT Act one by one, and you will find the huge canvas on which the Act obliges the government to take action simultaneously and complete the exercise. And this is the second important point of the Act, which is a paradigm shift and which happened for the first time in the history of school education. And that was to attain universalized education within a time limit. Because as in the life of an individual, so in the life of a nation, you can't achieve a goal unless you set a target for that. If you just say that this is our goal, free and compulsory education, then you can go on, indefinitely and giving excuses of one kind or the other of not being able to achieve the goal. So for the first time, there was a time limit. There was for 5 years, within which to implement all the provisions of the Act. In other words, to implement the Act as such. Still, in other words, to universalize elementary education in India in 5 years. That was so these two distinguishing features set it apart from all other efforts that we have made in the country. Now, I think that I would not go into the positive features of the other positive features of the Act, some of which have been brought out by Ambarish, nor go into some of the very crippling deficiencies of the Act. I think that will take me too far from the main point that I want to convey. I think what happened is that after the new government came to power, there has been a shift of attention and focus from RT Act and from the notion of universalization, which is the essence of the RT Act, from the time frame, which is the another essence, cardinal fact of the RT Act. From both these, there has been a departure in various ways made by the government, shifting the limelight from the RT Act, pushing it into background by other activities and by other policy measures. And I think first thing that has been noted is that after 2014, no important leader of the government, nor of the major political party constituting the government has really referred to the RT Act, reiterated his or her commitment to the Act, and indicated as to what measures he and or she are prepared to take for implementing the Act. This had not happened, during this entire period of 7 to 8 years after this government has come to power. So this shows that they decided to be indifferent to it, to deliberately push it into the background, to deliberately shift attention from it, and therefore they did not refer to it at the political level. They did not suggest measures. The Act had not apparently been implemented in the 5-year period. It was 2015. So one of the obvious things that one would have expected from the new government to go to the parliament to set a new deadline to implement it. This was never done. They did not even consider it. So this is one way in which they tried to scuttle it. The other thing that they did was that they set in motion the exercise of drafting the national education policy. Now, it was a long drawn out process, which took 5 to 6 years. And all these 5 and 6 years, nation's attentions got diverted to something which was, sort of a pie in the sky, so to say, something which was in the nature of, kind of a magical occurrence to happen in the country in the near future. And the country's attention got diverted to that. And well, after 5 years, the new education policy was announced. It was a big setback for those who supported the RT Act. There is no mention of the RT Act in the entire new economic education policy, except at one place as a historical narrative, the important landmarks that had happened, and there it is mentioned, but never in an operational sense as to what is wrong, what should be done, how it could be strengthened, implemented. There is nowhere this kind of element in the new economic policy. Secondly, many provisions of the new economic policy are in contradiction with the provisions of the RT Act. And they relate mainly to the role of and position of teachers, the notion of government's role, and on financing, on the role of the private sector. All these things are contradictory to what is the approach of the RT Act and what is provided in the RT Act. I would not like to go into the details. These are obvious who have studied this subject. Thirdly, I think that the government adopted administrative measures which amounted to scuttling the RT Act, as so to say, by stealth. And two of such measures that I would like to mention was the closing down of the schools in the name of rationalization, and the name of implementing the RT Act, ironically, just the opposite of it. What was really happening was just the opposite of it. But this is the argument given by the government, that they are doing it to implement the RT Act. And secondly, this Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, I mean, this was an administrative fiat, but with far-reaching effect, because Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan combined three, kind of disparate things, three different things. There is RT implementation, which is earlier used to be done exclusively with the preserve of the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Secondary education, which is not the priority of the government, for which minimum resources are provided, and for which the government have already tried to absorb itself of the responsibility on the ground that it is too expensive, and left it to the private sector. And so the meager resources devoted to Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan were combined with the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which in spite of limitations has a sizable amount of resources. And then with this it was combined training of teachers, and one never knows which part of the budget is being diverted to what purpose? And this is another, I say, scuttling the RT Act by stealth, the thing done by the government. So I think this is what has happened in the course of the years. The new economic policy provides for structures, creation of institutions which will drastically marginalize the RT Act. And for the operation and financing of which there is no provision in the new economic policy or in the budget. And there is no, it is just like the political kind of device of announcing high-sounding measures, mainly of an institutional nature, even formally launching the institutions, though it may take another 20 years to establish it. And if you even establish the institution, then to ensure that it remains starved of funds and doesn't become effective at all or not fully effective. So this is this thing. The two other things that the government has done in the meantime, and which has seriously affected the RT Act. One is that not only the non-provision of adequate resources, which was not done by the earlier government also, but they definitely enhanced the given resources manifold and promised to continue to review the availability of resources. But this government, instead of that, has made two drastic cuts in the provision for education during the course of the 7 years that it has been in power. First in 2015 and 16, and the second in the 2021 and 22. In 15 and 16, the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan budget was cut by 26%. Midday meals budget was cut by more than 30%. And the budget for the ICDS, which is the only flagship program and the only program of the government to look after the interest of the children below 6 years old, they reduced the budget provision for it by 49% in 2015 and 16. And in this budget, as has been pointed out, they have reduced the budget for school education by 5,000 crores, for education as a whole 7,000 crores, and for newly defined ICDS, including some other provisions, by almost close to the percentage of 2015 and 16. Now, a government which makes this kind of drastic, arbitrary cuts in the budget for education, can it be taken seriously as regards its intention for providing free and compulsory education within a time-bound framework? What is it indicative of? That this goal, it is not happy with this goal, that does not suit its convenience, and it is adopting one means or the other to scuttle the goal. And lastly, I will point out that what this government has done, before I conclude, I'm going to conclude very soon because my time limit has come. Lastly, this government has proceeded at a pretty fast pace for privatizing school education as a whole, including school education. And this is being done by bringing the PPP mode for training teachers, for establishing new institutions provided in the new economic policy and for several other things. Secondly, it has helped privatization by closing down the schools and allowing the private sector to build its own school at the place and the land on which the government school existed. And it's a general approach regarding government's role in the different sectors of the economy. A general approach on the whole question of education is a public good and an attempt to move away from the accountability that it has. And so these are all the measures by which the RT Act has been tried to be pushed into the background, moderated, changed, some places beyond recognition, and scuttled. And I have given examples in each category. Now, where do we go from here? This is the issue. I think that the first and foremost thing that we should do is that we should not, allow the government to do this thing with impunity. We take every. Please don't. We don't want another voice. So we should try to compel the government to be accountable for what it is doing, to be accountable for what it has doing.
बाकी लोग म्यूट कर दीजिए. Professor Ji, if you can just conclude.
I'm concluding. I'm taking just 1 minute.
Yeah.
We should not allow the government to get away from its accountability in this regard. Thirdly, that we should continue our agitation for implementation of RT Act through such meetings, through research, through publications, through media, through contact with parliamentarians. And lastly, we should, I have been saying for many years, we should knock at the door of the courts because it is justiciable, and to see why it is not being implemented. And even beyond that, if necessary, waging a mass movement all over the country for keeping the RT Act right in the center of the attention of the government and the nation, and ensuring its implementation within a revised time frame. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dubey. You have very extensively highlighted many of the points, and I think these are concerns that all of us have. 2-3 विषय जो आपने highlight किया है, I feel that is something which we as a forum can take it forward and will help us in our campaign and movement ahead. I think first of all we recognize that this is really the demand of the people. A proper quality education is a demand of the people, and people have been expressing this demand in many ways. As a forum, we are highlighting this demand of the people. और बच्चों का भी अब एक ड्रीम बन गया है. हम इस कोविड टाइम में हम बहुत सारी इंस्टेंसेस ऐसे सुने हैं जहां पर बच्चे बिना फोन के, बिना लैपटॉप के, how they have even attempted to take away their lives because they're not able to study. So I think as a forum, we have to continue to give voice to the demand and dreams of the people. Secondly, जैसे आपने किया है, the act and the fundamental right continues, whether the NEP comes or something else comes, the act is there, it has not been moved out. The fundamental right is there, it has not been removed. So we as a forum have every legitimate right to insist that this fundamental right and act is implemented. I think that mass movement, that campaign, the struggle for it, we do have a very good background for that. And we find national education policies और बाकी जितनी policies आ रहे हैं, they are only ways to delay and dilute the act and its implementation. So I think as a forum, 10 years over, 11 years over, what you have said in terms of a mass movement, continued work on this, I think it's very relevant. And all of us who are here, 200 plus people in every state, I think as a forum, we really have the responsibility to push this act and its provisions ahead. Thank you so much, Dubiji, for your thoughts and for the strategies. We really look forward to members of the forum to take this forward with us. I'd request now Anita Rampalji. She's been professor with Delhi University, Faculty of Education, and more than that, she's been one among us as an activist, as somebody who's worked on the act, who's been pushing the act, has worked in distant areas with communities to look at how the act can be implemented continuously. Your commitment and your conviction about the act, Anita ji, we would really look forward to what you think we can do as a forum together to take this act to be implemented. Thank you so much and look forward to your thoughts. We'll keep around 15 minutes, Anita ji, for your thoughts.